Hi everyone, Anthony Morganti here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a new feature that's currently in the beta version of Photoshop, version 27.5.0, called Rotate Object. With Rotate Object, you could take just about any object in a scene, like an animal, a zebra, or a person, or maybe a car, and you could isolate it from the background it is in and put it in a new scene. And when you put it in the new scene, you could rotate it 360 degrees, left, right, up, down. You'll see it's a pretty powerful tool. Now, I'm going to do two different examples in this video. The first one's going to be relatively straightforward. We're going to take this image of the running zebra, which is running left to right. We're going to put it in this scene with some zebras in the foreground that are mainly facing to the left. So I need to make this zebra fit this scene. So what we're going to do is we're going to first take this image of the zebra and put it on top of this image here. To do that, we're going to get the Move tool. The keyboard shortcut for the Move tool is the V, as in victory key. It's this tool at the very top. We're going to click right on this image of the zebra, drag it up to the tab that has the Serengeti, I guess, image, and we're going to hold the Shift key down when we let go of the left mouse button, and that will put it right on top. Now, I mentioned that with this new tool, you could isolate the object from the scene it's in. To do that, we need to go in free transform mode. The keyboard shortcut on a Mac is Command T. On a PC, it's Control T. When you do that, you'll be in free transform mode, and you could tell you are because you have these handles going around the outside of the image. When you're in free transform mode, on the contextual taskbar, you'll have this new feature, Rotate Object. If you don't see the contextual taskbar, go to the window menu and then towards the bottom, make sure that contextual taskbar has a check mark next to it. Click on Rotate Object, and what it will do is it will find the subject of the image. In this case, it's going to be the zebra, and it will isolate it. So it will basically clip it out from the background. Now, when it does that, it's going to be low resolution. It's going to look really bad. But don't worry, because when you actually commit to the transformation, it will give you the full resolution, in this case, zebra. Now, I mentioned you could rotate this all around. You also could resize it. There's these handles, so you could resize it. And then you'll notice on the left and at the bottom, there are these kind of circular arrows. And with these, you could take it and rotate it around. And this is this new feature I'm talking about. So you could do it this way. You could go to this one and do it this way if you want to. There's also, if you go to the Properties panel, which is right here, on my computer, the way I have my workspace, I'm in the photography workspace, by the way. If you go up to Window and then to Workspace, it's grayed out at the moment. I'm in the photography workspace. It's grayed out because I'm in this mode and I got to get rid of it. But you could come in and do those same adjustments here. You could see the circular circles are here. There's also another one here that you could change the spin on it. So if you went to like 8, you could see what it's doing. But that's an extra one that isn't available here on these handles, so I could rotate it around. Now what I want to do is I want to rotate our zebra so it's facing the same way as most of these zebras are in the foreground. And then I want to resize it so that it kind of fits in the scene, like maybe a little better than that. So it's going to be relatively small. So we're going to put our zebra right here. And then when you're ready and you like what you did, come up here and just click on Done. And once you click on Done, it will take a minute to do this. Now, it does use generative credits to do this, so check your generative balance and make sure that you have generative credits. Of course, they get refreshed every month with your subscription. Now, once it's here, it will give us the higher resolution image, but you can see it still doesn't really fit. But what you do have up here is a Harmonize button, and this has been in Photoshop for several months. When you have a composite such as this, where you have a clipped out part on top of a background, you could make that clipped out part fit the scene by clicking this Harmonize button. And when you do, it will take a little time, but it will make it color it right, light it right, put shadows when shadows need to be, and it will give you 3 variations as it does this. So if one doesn't look quite right, you could try the other ones. And again, this does use generative credits as well. So you got to make sure that you have a generative balance for this to work. And you can see there is our first variation, and then there's our second, and there's our third. And I don't know. I guess maybe that second one looks a little bit better than the other ones. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. But either way, you get the idea how this works. Now let's do something maybe just a little more challenging. What I have is I have this image of this woman, and I want to take her and put her in this scene that has a different woman in it. What I want to do first, though, is I need to get rid of this woman here. So to do that, what I'm going to do is just use a tool that has been in Photoshop for several months. It is this selection brush tool right here. You can see the keyboard shortcut is the L key, but that keyboard shortcut is shared by, as you can see, 4 different tools. So make sure you're using the selection brush tool. I'm going to get a slightly bigger brush by using the right bracket key to make it larger, left bracket key makes it smaller. And then all I'm going to do is paint around the perimeter of the woman like this. And you'll notice that once I continue all the way around and finish and let go, it will fill in the middle part. Then what I want to do is click on remove up here. So let's get rid of this brush so you can better see. Click on remove. And then when you do that, it will, in this case, remove this woman, and it will fill in the scene so it looks like it belongs. It looks like it's a park, like that. You can see it did a good job. So now what we're going to do is, as we did before, we're going to take this entire image and drag it over to the other image. Again, you're going to get that move tool, hit the V key, click on this one, drag it up to the other tab. I want to put it right in the middle, hold the shift key down, and it will drop it right in the middle. Now I need to go into free transform mode again, so hit Command or Control T. When you do that, you'll have rotate object here. Click on that. Now this one's going to be a little more challenging than the previous one, and mainly because I have to fill in. You'll see part of her legs will be missing. I'll have to add that, and just slightly more challenging. It's not that hard. But you'll notice then it's taken its time, so it isolated the woman fine. Now I want to rotate her. I don't think I need to rotate her up or down. I don't want to do that. But let's rotate her. I think I'll rotate her this way a little bit, like that. And then we're going to make her maybe just a tad smaller, and then move her up like that. I think like that. So we see we're missing some of her legs down here, and I think overall that looks pretty good. I think maybe I'll tilt her this way a little bit. So yeah, that's okay. So again, it's low resolution when you're doing this until you click done, and then it will give you the higher resolution image. Now, once it gives you that higher resolution image, then it should look like it, like the woman actually looked in the previous photo. But we're going to have a couple things. We got to fill in her legs, and then we have to harmonize it so everything fits, the scene. So there it is. She's there, but she's missing some of her legs still. So what we're going to do is we're going to again get this same selection tool that we used last time, the selection brush tool. And see how her legs are kind of crossed? And I'm not sure that's going to actually look right because I want her looking like she's standing in the path. So we're going to select above her legs a little bit and then come down. So we're getting all this area right in here. And then let go. Now, once we have that, we're going to come up here to Generative Fill. With Generative Fill, we're going to go to the models, and I suggest that you use Firefly and Expand mode right there. That one will work best. And then you don't have to type anything. You don't have to type, give her legs or anything like that. And just click Generate. And then it will use generative credits again and give you 3 variations. Now, I am going to get on a soapbox a little bit. I really don't like generative credits. It's making me feel like Adobe has a cash register around every single corner nowadays. So not only are they getting me for my monthly fee, they're getting me for generative credits as well. Now, granted, they do give you some with your subscription, but if you're going to be doing this a lot, if you're a professional and you're actually doing stuff like this a lot, you're going to be using those credits you get every month, and you're going to have to purchase more. Now, here's the first variation. Here's the second variation. There's the third variation. In my opinion, they all look pretty good, right? I think they all look good. So we'll just go with that one. Now, if you want to increase the resolution or enhance the detail, it's not really increasing the resolution. I kind of misspoke. But enhancing detail, you could do that as well. So if you have a very, very high resolution image, and when you did this transformation, it looks like it doesn't fit, it looks a little blurry, definitely click that. It will take a little, minute or two to do. I'm not going to do it here because I don't need to, but you just remember that's there because it's not very obvious. Now, we need to make her fit the scene as far as lighting is concerned, and you'll notice that Harmonize button isn't here anymore. To get it back, what we need to do is we need to merge this layer that we just created her legs with the rotate object layer. To do that, click on the top layer. This is the layer that we created her legs. Hold in the Command or Control key and click on the layer that is the rotate object layer. Then hit Command or Control E. And when you do that, you'll merge those two layers together. Once they're merged together, you'll notice we have our Harmonize button back. So we'll click on Harmonize, and then it will hopefully make her fit the scene better with lighting. It's going to give you 3 variations. And again, that cash register is there. They're using Generative credits to do this. So it is what it is. But you'll notice once it's done. Now, I didn't do anything too major with our rotate object. You could rotate things, as you saw, 360 degrees just about any way. And you could really resize things and make just about anything fit in a scene. I did something that was relatively simple, which I think is probably the way you'd most often use it. So here, I don't know. Which one do you like? I don't know. They're all about the same to me. I don't care for any of them, to tell you the truth. But that's not too bad, let's say. So we've just removed the original image. Here's the original image, and I removed that woman, and I replaced her with this woman in that scene. So that's it. That's this new feature found in the current beta version of Photoshop called Rotate Object. Now, again, if you're not familiar with the beta version of Photoshop, if you have a Creative Cloud subscription, you could download the beta version of Photoshop. To do it, open up your Creative Cloud. On a Mac, you just click on the icon up here. On a PC, it's probably down at the bottom. Just click on it so that you've opened up the actual Creative Cloud app. Then go to Apps, and then go to Beta. And then you could see I have it already downloaded, so it's saying to open. But you could see I also could do After Effects. I can install that. Now, I'm not sure what you'd be eligible for if you just have the photography subscription, where you have Photoshop and Lightroom. You may not be able to do the premieres and stuff like that. You may only have Photoshop available, which I probably think is the way it is, because I subscribe to everything, so I have all these available if I wanted to. But just download it right here. It could run on your computer side by side with the current version of Photoshop. So it's not replacing the current version of Photoshop. It will run side by side with it. So I could have them both open at the same time and do different things on them if I wanted to. But that's how you get it. You could download it right there, and you're good to go. And then you could do crazy stuff like this. Thank you, everyone who watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.